Hi, everyone, and welcome to this week's Global Intelligence Update. And we've got a great guest with us this week, quite renowned. And for those that don't know who Kody Thompson is, let me give you guys a quick brief view. Kody is a dynamic entrepreneur and visionary leader with a track record of success. He is renowned for his achievements as the founder of Lightning Sites, a web development company that he built from a $250 startup into a multi-million-dollar enterprise, generating in excess of $5 million profit across 8 years. In 2023, Kody was able to transition out of the day-to-day operations of Lightning Sites when it was acquired by US technology company Sites at Scale, which is quite big. After successfully building his own remote teams to grow and exit Lightning Sites, Kody developed a reputation as an expert in building international teams, scaling businesses, and launched the business WorkPod in 2021 with co-founder Dale Beaumont. In the last 2 years, Kody has facilitated the placement of over 900 remote staff for WorkPod clients, enabling them to achieve greater efficiency, reduce operational costs, and strengthen the enterprise. Kody's journey is a testament to his entrepreneurial spirit and dedication to making a positive impact in both the business world, and community. Welcome, Kody.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate you having me on the show, and thank you to Mike as well. I really appreciate it.
It's all a pleasure. Quite a great biography, and stage is yours.
Awesome. Well, thank you for having me on, as I said, and it's great to have some of the live guests with me here as well, and see a few Aussies on here as well. So it's great to be here. I'm going to share my screen for those that are live or that are watching on video, but I'll make sure I describe it as well. If you're listening to the audio podcast, I'll make sure I give you all of the details as well. So let me go ahead and share my screen. So today I'll be talking about how to build a successful business that runs without you. And this is really important because as a business owner, we don't want to be slaves to our business. We want to own our business. We don't want our business to own us. But so many times in my journey, I have felt the other way around, where I felt sort of like a slave in my own business. And that's not what we want. And I'm sure if you've been running businesses for any period of time, you would have experienced that challenge in your own business. So I want to talk about that today, just share what I've learned. I'm not an expert by any stretch of the imagination on all things business, but I believe that what I've learned across the last 12 years building my businesses could help you. And if I can help you to achieve a little bit more success in your business, then that would be a great result from today's podcast. So as Chris said, I run a company called WorkPod, which I launched a few years back with my business partner, Dale Beaumont. But a little bit about me. I live on a farm in northern New South Wales, which is in Australia. And I have 3 girls, Scarlett, Madison, and Florence. And when I'm not running businesses, I have a cattle property. So I have cattle that we raise, and it's just a great environment to raise our family. And that was why I left the Gold Coast about 4 years ago, moved down to this country town, only 3,000 people here. It's a very small place, but it's just a really wonderful place to raise our family. So I'm going to let you in on the secret right from the start of this presentation. What is the key to growing a successful company? I think it comes down to 2 things. It comes down to building great systems and processes in your business and building a great team. If you can do these 2 things, then it's very likely you'll build a successful business. Probably the third one I would add to the mix would be sales, right? So I'm talking operationally here. Systems and teams will look after your operations, and then you just got to be able to sell. And so today I'm going to be talking about how to build great systems and great teams. So what are systems? Well, in simple terms, systems are the step-by-step processes of how you and your staff do everything in your business. It's how you do all of the stuff that makes your business run. And so why do you need great systems? Well, most business owners, I think, don't have great systems. I've seen under the hood now of hundreds of businesses. I know this because when I was building websites for clients, I'd often ask them simple questions like, how do you sell your product? What's your sales process? And I can tell you that 99% of business owners couldn't even explain to me what their sales process looked like. And most business owners are in that place. They use like a diary or sticky notes or like other ways of trying to like track their tasks. And basically they become blinded by whatever the next task is in their business. and they're not focusing on the things that are really going to matter in their business. So basically you end up feeling like you're constantly juggling tasks. You're constantly putting out fires. I don't know if you've ever felt like that. For those of you that are live on the call, I know I felt like that before. Just feel like you're running from like one problem to the next in your business, not feeling like you're being proactive. You're just reactive in your business. And what this does is it creates like a sense of chaos. If you've got staff in your business, it's like a chaotic place to work. And what happens is staff will burn out, and you basically end up feeling like you're spinning your wheels, not making any progress in your business. And that's what I felt like in my first company. So the first business that I launched was called Design Fox. A little bit of backstory on me. When I finished high school, I actually became a youth pastor. That was my occupation. When I was going through year 11 and 12, unfortunately, I had a number of friends that committed suicide. And so when I finished school, I went back into the schools and was running programs, leadership programs for young people. And then long story short, I got a promotion in the church that I was a part of. I was running the the National Youth Movement, which was basically a group of youth programs in churches, and I needed to travel. And so they sent me to the Gold Coast to work. But the church that I was working for there had no money to pay me. So I was doing it volunteer, and I needed to start making some money. So I started freelancing as a graphic designer. So when Chris said earlier, I was a $250 startup, that $250 went to buy some business cards, and I bought some hosting on GoDaddy. I built my own website from watching YouTube videos, and then I started knocking on doors, going door to door, handing out my business card. And so Design Fox, I knew nothing about business. So when I come to you today to talk about these things that I've learned, if you feel like you don't, not in a good place in running your business, if you don't feel like you know technology or, know how to, put these things in practice, I can tell you that I knew absolutely nothing about running a business. My task management tool was Post-it notes on a board, and I was using Word documents to invoice clients and an Excel spreadsheet for my financial management. So if I'm right there with you. If you're just starting out in your business and you don't know what you're going to do to grow it, I completely understand where you are. So that's where I was in my business. All those things, spinning your wheels, feeling burnout, putting out fires, juggling tasks, all those things were me. And most business owners never get off that roller coaster. And the sad thing is, I believe most business owners would be in a position where it would actually be better to work for somebody else than work for themselves. And I find that really sad, that they never get out of that wheel. And so what I want to do today is hopefully give you some keys to take back control of your business and make it work for you rather than the other way around. So this isn't what I wanted for my business. What I wanted was I wanted to feel focused. I wanted to feel like tasks were being completed. I wanted to feel like I was driving forward, that I was making progress in my business. And of course, I wanted to make money so that I got a return on the risk and the investment of my time and energy to build the business. And ultimately, I wanted freedom. That's what I wanted. I have 3 girls. I want to spend time with them. I want to be present in their life. I want to have that type of lifestyle. And so that's what I wanted. Thankfully for me, I was able to make that happen. As Chris said earlier, I was able to build my business to a point where we were able to scale that business and do over $5 million of profit during that period with that business. And we were able to sell that business quite well into the US. And so I achieved that, and I hope I can give you some keys to that today. So Lightning Sites was that business. Here's a quick photo of our team. We scaled that team in the Philippines to over 80 staff. We had about 4 or 5 Australian staff and a large team in the Philippines that ran that business. But the real answer is systems and teams. If you can build great systems and teams, you can grow a really strong business. Very cool. So these are a couple of inspiring quotes. Systems save yourself time, energy, money, and stress. Mike Victor Hansen said that. Another great quote that I'm going to share in a moment is from one of my business mentors. He said, ask yourself, will I ever have to do this again? If the answer is yes, then build a system. But there's something that holds us back from building systems in our business, and that's our mindset. And there's a few mindset shifts that you need to make if you're really going to grow a successful business. And I wonder, for those that are on the call live, I wonder if anyone could finish this sentence for me. Maybe you've said this yourself before. No one can do it what? No one can do it as good as me, right? No one can do it as good as me. Hands up for those live if you've ever said that in your own business. I know for me that I have. Another one would be, it's faster if I what? It's faster if I do it myself, right? You might have said that yourself before. That mindset is gonna hold you back. And the last one is, I've tried that, but like, oh yeah, Kody, I've tried hiring staff before, but there's just no good people out there, or it's impossible to find good people. All those things, all those mindsets will stop you from building a great business. Because I want to tell you the truth that yes, there's lots of people that can do it better than you. And no, it's not faster for you to do it yourself. And yes, there's great people out there that you can find to build a great team. You need to have the right positive mindset. So the mindset needs to be that it's possible. And today I'm going to show you how you can make that happen. So what's the first step? Well, the first thing you need to do if you want to systemize your business and you want to build a great team is you have to get all of the systems out of your own head. And a great tool for that, I would start by creating a mind map. And there's a great tool called MindMeister. It's mindmeister.com. It's a free tool. There is a paid version, but it's a free tool. And basically what you can do is you plot on the mind map the main departments of your business. So for example, sales, marketing, delivery, admin, HR, and then under each one of those departments, just list out every single task that needs to be done in order to make your business happen. So if you're building websites, it might be you need to, create a proposal for a client. You need to, you run a sales call. You need to, send an invoice, whatever. Like you need to just put down a list of every single task that needs to happen in order for your business to operate. That's the first thing. Now you've got a map of all of the systems that are needed to run your business. And then what I would recommend you do is you color code those. These are the ones I already have systems for. These are the ones that I don't. And then now you've got a bit of a map of where you're at. The next thing you need to do is you need to set up a place where you can store all of your systems, because might have heard back in the day, I'm too young for this to be honest, but back in businesses, they used to print like manuals, right? Operation manuals in companies. But that's really a thing of the past. Now you can digitalize all of that operations manual. So you need to have a digital operational manual online, something that's searchable, something that you can restrict permissions and only give access to staff for certain tasks and systems in your business. There's heaps and heaps and heaps of options here, right? So, Trainual, Process Street, Notion, Teamwork Spaces, Outline, Confluence, SharePoint. These are just some of the examples of the tools that are out there to do this. Personally, I use Outline. I just like how clean it is. It's really, really cheap, and it doesn't have all the bells and whistles, but it works really well for us. I think it's like $100 a month for like unlimited users. So if you're building like a bigger company, it's really useful. And then if you've got a smaller company, their per user price is very low. So I've found that a great tool. But any tool, you just need a place that you can put it and that is able to be only accessed by your staff. And you want to be able to change permissions. So for example, you only want to have your finance people able to access your finance systems, only your marketing people accessing your marketing systems. This helps you protect your IP and make sure that if you've got staff in your company, they can't, access stuff that they shouldn't be accessing in your business. So that's the most important thing with coming up with that. Now, I don't have time for a demo, but just have a look on Outline or any of those tools I mentioned before, and they've got videos and stuff, and you can check that out online. Okay, so now we know what tasks we need to have in our business. Now we've got a place where we can store them. We can put the current systems that we have in our business. Now we need to transfer those tasks from our plate onto our staff members' plate or contractors or partners that we can bring into the business. Now, I've put to this diagram up. I call this the task transfer method. For those of you that are listening on audio, just think of like a rectangle. And then if you draw a line from the bottom left corner to the top right corner, the top left triangle is work that you're doing. And at the start of our business, we do 90% of the work. So this is what the diagram looks like. It's the left-hand side of that drawing. And we're doing 90% of that work, and maybe 10% of the work is being done by other people. And the bottom triangle on the right-hand side is work others are doing. And so we start out, all of us start out this way when we launch a new business. We're doing most of the work or all of the work. And then there's a small amount of work we're able to get other people to help us with. But the key to growing a great business is being able to get to this point where you're inputting a small amount of time, of your own time, and 90% or even 99% of the work is being done by other people. There's no way these great entrepreneurs we read about, running huge billion-dollar companies can do the work themselves. What they've been able to do is they've been able to move this line, this needle so far to the right-hand side that they're leveraging their time so well. They're spending time only on critical tasks that are really valuable to their companies. And then the rest of the tasks are being done by other people. So that's the key that we need to be able to achieve, is we need to be able to move that needle. So where do we start? Well, I want to just ask you a quick question. What are the 3 most time-consuming tasks that you need to get off your plate right now? That's where you need to start. Sometimes when you look at that list of tasks, and there might be 100 tasks on that mind map that you just drew out, and you can get overwhelmed by just seeing so many things that you need to do or you need to systemize. I would encourage you, just think about the next 3 things. Or even the next 1 thing, like what is the most important thing that if I got this off of my plate, it would give me time back. And once you've got that time back, you can reinvest it into creating more systems. So for many entrepreneurs, it's simple things like emptying your email inbox or managing your calendar or assigning tasks to your team. Like these are things that like a virtual assistant or someone else like that is, cost your business a lot less than your time, could easily help you to take those things off your plate and give you time back. And when you've got time back as the CEO of your business, that's when you can invest that time more effectively. So if you're wondering, where do I start to move this needle from left to right? Well, just start by the thing that is costing you the most amount of time right now and see if you can get that off of your plate. So let's talk about how you do that. So how do we delegate the tasks from the left here to the right? What do we actually do to do that? Well, I have a process I call the delegation filter, and I want to talk you through how this filter works. So basically you drop tasks in the top of the filter and then they fall down the bottom of this filter, and that's how you can kind of delegate them from top to bottom. And you need to do these in order. So the first step is delete it. Delete it, then optimize it, automate it, and delegate it. So they're the 4 steps. I'm going to talk you through those right now. So the first step is to delete it. Now this one is simple. Many times in our business, we have tasks that actually do nothing to progress our business. They're just stuff that we've done in the past, or they're stuff that somebody told us we should do. And so we've decided to do it. But if we actually look at the results of that task in our business, they actually don't get us any results. Okay, so the first thing we want to make sure of is if there's a task that we're currently doing that is not serving our business any longer, don't bother delegating it to someone else. Delete it. Just get rid of it in your business. Let me give you a couple of examples. Elon Musk once said this: one of the biggest problem-solving mistakes is optimizing a step that should have been deleted. Running a business like smarter. Another one is this: the essence of strategy is choosing what not to do. Seth Godin said the best businesses are the ones that do one thing really well. Tim Ferriss said success is found by focusing on what truly matters and cutting out the noise. These are just some examples to illustrate that point. When I was running Design Fox, just to give you an idea on my journey, the first year in business, I did about $110,000 a year in revenue. It was just me. I was charging $80 an hour to do graphic design services. That's where I was able to get to. And by the end of that year, I was so busy that every time the phone rang, I was literally nearly on a fetal position in the corner. Like I would have like almost anxiety attacks when the phone would ring. I was so busy with work. The next year, I was able to hire a virtual assistant to help me to basically spend more time on billable hours. So that was the main change I did the next year. I got 2 staff members. I got an executive assistant, and then I got an assistant graphic designer. I think at the time it added maybe $40,000 a year in salaries because the staff were in the Philippines. So that didn't cost the same as hiring staff here in Australia. I did about $250,000 the next year just by eliminating, the things where I wasn't billing my time. But then to go from 250,000, the next year I did 500,000. But to do that jump, the only way I was able to do that jump was to realize that all of these tasks I was doing at Design Fox, they weren't able to be systemized. At the time, I was selling graphic design services, video editing, marketing, email automation stuff. Basically, anyone who'd pay me $80 an hour, if I had the skills to do the work, I would charge the client and do the work. But the problem is you can't systemize that, right? And so to make the jump from 250 grand to 500,000 the next year, I had to delete all of these services in my business and focus on the services that I could easily scale with other people in my business. And so what I did was I decided to start selling websites on a subscription. I built a website for a CrossFit gym, and then another CrossFit gym owner said to me, hey, can I buy a website from you? And then I quoted them, and they said, we can't afford it. And then I had this idea. The customer said to me, actually, couldn't you just copy and paste the website you built before? I'll give you photos and stuff, and then just change the logo and the colors in the photos and give me a copy of the website. And so we came up with this idea where I charged him $300 and I charged him $100 a month for the website. And anyway, he thought it was awesome. I signed up that CrossFit gym owner, and then over the next year, I signed up 100 other CrossFit gym owners on a subscription website service where my staff ran everything. So I had to, what I'm trying to illustrate to you is you can't systemize you and your skills. Like it's too hard to systemize 50 things. It's much better to do one thing very well and create great systems around it. And that's what really made the difference for me. And that was the turning point that turned, that $250, investment in my own freelance business and built a $3 million company. It was really that, systemize one product, sell it over and over and over and over again, and sell it on a recurring revenue. And that was really the key that grew Lightning Sites. So first step, is that task actually serving your business? If not, delete it. Then step 2, optimize. Okay, so it's serving a purpose. How do I do this task or this process more effectively to make it faster and better quality? Vince Lombardi said, perfection is not attainable, but if we chase perfection, we can catch excellence. And that's what we want. So how do we make our processes and our business experience for our customers excellent? Well, we can build flowcharts. So we flowchart everything out, every process we flowchart out in our business. Then we create video tutorials using tools like Loom and other tools. And then we create step-by-step written guides. And I've got hint, ChatGPT is great for this. If you write a list of the tasks, like this is the step-by-step tasks, you can use AI and other tools to create the step-by-step written guides. So you can create systems so much faster now than what it was when I first started. Then the last way is learn from feedback from your customers. We have customer surveys when our clients cancel, services with WorkPod. We read every single one. And to be honest, a lot of the best ideas I've ever had in my business came from customers just telling me what they wanted. And then if you build it out for them, you get great results. So learn from the customer's feedback. All right, so step 1, delete. Step 2, optimize it, make the process as fast as possible. And then step 3, automate it. If there's a way to use software to automate the task, then that's the next step to get it even faster. I believe that every business will require a piece of software for at least these 4 areas of your business. You need a CRM system, which is like your sales system, your customer service. CRM stands for client relationship management software. So every business needs a CRM system. You need a finance system. And I'm not talking about an Excel spreadsheet like I was using when I started. There's tools like Xero and QuickBooks and MyOb and many other tools that allow you to automate invoicing, payroll, financial reporting. Stripe is another example. So you need a finance system. The third area is tasks. You need a task management system. So when you hire staff, you can assign tasks with proper deadlines and proper accountability for the tasks that get assigned to your team. And then the last area is a knowledge base. Many other businesses might have other tools, but every business, I think, needs at least these 4 tools. The knowledge base is where you can automate staff onboarding. You can put all your systems. That's the tool I showed you before. I use Outline, but you could use other tools. So if you don't have these tools, it's going to be hard to automate systems and processes in your business. But if you do, you can make it easier to automate. So then once you've got those tools, you can implement workflow automation. So let me show you a couple of examples, just quick examples. So in my business at WorkPod, we make money from customers 2 ways. Way number 1 is that we recruit staff for them in the Philippines, and then there's a setup fee for that. And then number 2, we charge a fee for those staff to work from one of our serviced office spaces. And so we use Stripe to automatically take those payments from our customers. Now, in different countries, they need to receive tax invoices, and Stripe does not send tax invoices that are, at least in Australia, have all the information needed. So if we were to have to manually create an invoice in Xero, which is our finance management tool, and send that to our customers, right now we have about 800 customers we work with. It's fair to say that that would be nearly 40 hours a week of work when we're billing clients every week for these desks. So one automation that we've built is we've integrated Stripe with Xero so that when a payment is taken on Stripe, it automatically creates the invoice and it automatically emails that tax invoice to our clients. So that's a very simple example of a workflow that saves us a lot of time in our business. And there's hundreds of these examples in our business that we've automated. Here's a more complicated example. So on our website, we have a WordPress website. We use a plugin called Gravity Forms to take the orders from our clients. When an order is taken, there's a number of things that we want to happen. So we have a Google Sheet that has all of our customer orders in it. It creates a row automatically in Google Sheet. Then we use an email tool, like a front desk tool for all of our email communication with our customers. It creates a new ticket thread for a new order, and it assigns it to our recruitment manager and adds the tasks that are needed in our front desk software. Then it marks the opportunity as won in our CRM, so our sales team is reporting effectively, and then it notifies all of our team managers that need to know about new orders. It sends a chat message through, so instantly when an order gets placed, we're all aware straight away that an order has been placed. And then in our task management tool, it automatically creates a list of tasks that our recruitment team need to do in order to fulfill a new recruitment order in our company. So that's a more complicated example, but these are the types of the things that can be automated with software. So step number 1 was delete. Step number 2 was optimize. Step number 3 is automate. Whatever you can automate, the better with software. And there's so many different things you could automate. Here's just some examples that I've put up on the screen. Chatbots, help desk routing, data entry, social media posting, PPC campaigns, using AI for different tasks so you can get them done faster, predictive maintenance, inventory management, recruitment automation, employee onboarding, etc. There's so many different things, and it depends on your business and industry, what software is available to do those things. Now, the last thing is delegate. If software can't do it automatically, then we need human beings to do the tasks. And so that's the last step, is delegating the task. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about that now. And so here are a few tips, to delegate better. First thing is to identify what needs to be delegated. So the routine, is it specialized or is it outside? If it's outside of your strengths, and then choose the right person. So you want to match the task with the skills and availability of your team. You want to provide clear instructions. So that's where the systems are important. Then you need to empower and trust your staff. So you need to allow autonomy in decision-making. So if there's financial decisions, there needs to be limitations, for example, on how much money they can spend on certain things. And that way you can empower and trust them to follow the systems. You need to communicate regularly, focus on the outcomes. So prioritize the results that you can get and look to improve the process rather than micromanaging every step of the process. Focus on the outcomes that your staff are producing rather than, micromanaging every single detail. Provide support. So be available and offer guidance, review and reflect. So we often do debriefs after big projects so you can improve the process next time. Develop a delegation culture. So lead by example and encourage your team to delegate. And then automate where possible, as I mentioned before. So use technology to streamline the tasks as much as you can. Another great thing that I've learned, there's a guy named Dan Martell who runs a great coaching program around software. And he taught me an approach called the 1-3-1 approach. And when I learned this, it really helped me in my business. Before I learned this, what would happen is staff would often come to me with problems. And they would want me to solve their problems. So they'd come to me and say, Kody, I've got this problem with a customer. And then they would tell me what the problem is. And they say, what do you think I should do? And I think as entrepreneurs, we sometimes like to be needed. And so I would like to solve the problem. So I would tell them, if I was you, I would do this and I would solve the problem. But the problem with that approach is that it's relying on my brain, and I'm not encouraging my staff to use their own creative thinking and to use their brain and improve the business. And so the 1-3-1 approach is simply this. You encourage your staff that if they come to you with a problem, they need to come with one clear problem. Then they need to provide you with 3 possible solutions and 1 recommended solution. So when I started implementing this, it really helped because it helped me to realize that my staff are really smart. And oftentimes they can think of solutions or options that I never would have thought of. And it encourages your staff to think. So when your staff come into a staff meeting, and they're describing a problem, instead of jumping in and solving it, my new approach has been to ask them, what options do we have? And then what option would you recommend? And so that helps to make sure that your people are thinking, and it creates a culture of leadership where your staff actually take ownership of the problems and come up with solutions. And you'll be amazed at how well your people will do this if you empower them. Everybody wants to feel like they're valuable and they can contribute. And yeah, this approach really opened my mind and helped me to be less of a, one-man player and more of a team player. Next thing we want to do is structure the responsibilities in our business using an accountability chart. So I'd recommend creating some sort of organizational chart that highlights who's in your team and what are they responsible for. And that helps to give clarity to everybody on what each person's role is. Now, if you've never done an organizational structure before, I thought it might be useful just to show you this quick 3-silo business system. So in business, there's really 3 areas to every single business. It doesn't matter what the business is. You could break every company down into these 3 areas. Area number 1 is sales and marketing. Area number 2 is delivery. And area number 3 is admin and finance. So in simple terms, you need a way to market and sell your product or service. You need a way to deliver it, deliver your promise to the customer. And then admin and in finance is you need a way to administer all of that. So charging the clients, managing all your team, etc. So every business fits into those 3 silos. It's just that it can be broken down further. So for example, in a website business, like my previous one, we had sales and marketing together, but then we had 2 delivery arms. We had website building, which was our web development team. And then we had ongoing support. Remember, we sold websites for a fee up front and then an ongoing subscription. So we had clients that managed we had staff, a team managing new clients coming on board. And then we had another team that managed the ongoing support of those existing clients. And then we had finance and HR split into 2 teams. So it's the same 3 silos. It's just that as your business gets bigger, you need to have more leaders essentially to run the business. And so you'll end up with more, I guess, departments, but they fit within that 3 silo system. So another example would be WorkPod, my current business. Sales and marketing's together, finance and HR are split out, but our delivery, we have a recruitment team that helps recruit. We have a client support team that looks after our clients. And then we have an operations team that looks after our facilities in the Philippines, like cleaners and security guards, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So every business can fit into those 3 structures. So that's what you can use to help you to plan out the structure of your business, make sure it's crystal clear to everybody. And the key for this is that if there's more than one person responsible, then nobody's responsible. So the biggest mistake that I see business owners make is that there's tasks that everybody contributes to. And if everybody's contributing to it, then nobody's ultimately responsible for it. And so that you need to have an accountability chart that allows you to make sure that one person is responsible for that area of the business. And if there's a problem, that problem is for them to solve. And it allows you to empower your staff to take on challenges, but also keep them accountable when performance, is not where it's supposed to be, and then celebrate them when they hit performance targets in the business. A couple of other quick tips would be to use a scorecard to track your performance. So track the key metrics in your business. You can use dashboards and spreadsheets for that. But Peter Drucker, who's a management consultant, famous guy, has written a lot of books and worked with a lot of big companies, says what you don't measure, you can't manage, and what you can't manage, you can't improve. So if you're not tracking things in your business, then you can't manage it. And if you can't manage it, you can't improve it. And it's really true. Okay, so they're my tips on how to delegate. So now what I want to talk about next is who do you actually delegate those tasks to? And I wanted to give you guys a quick gift. You can go to workpod.com/checklist. And I've got this ultimate VA task checklist, which is 160 tasks that can and should be outsourced to virtual assistants. You don't have to put your contact details in or anything like that. If you type this web address in, it'll just take you straight to the PDF. So it's workpod.com/checklist. So if you're on this call live, I encourage you just to quickly type that in, because I want to just do a quick activity with this checklist. But it's 160 tasks that you can outsource to virtual assistants. And so now that we've sort of done this activity, we've talked about, how to figure out what tasks we need to delegate. We've talked about how to build the systems. We've talked about some tips about optimizing and automating. And now we're down to a point where we need to delegate those tasks out. This tool is going to help show you areas in your business that perhaps you're doing tasks right now that are costing you time and energy in your business. And if you could get those things off your plate, it would give you more time to spend back investing in your business. So I want you to quickly download that. If you're on this call live, hopefully you've got that in front of you. And I want you to take a quick look at that. We don't have time to go through the whole presentation now, but if you're listening to this on the podcast, you could pause it. You could go through this checklist, and basically it'll give you a score. It'll give you a list of all the things that you're doing right now that could be given to other people in your business. So get access to that, workpod.com/checklist. Cool. And then if you have done that checklist and you've got a whole bunch of stuff that you can outsource to people overseas, then that's essentially where WorkPod can help you. And so if you do need help finding staff in the Philippines, then you can have a chat to us. That's one of our clients, Angus, with some of his team. And so this is what we do. We help people build teams, just like I built my team to scale my web development company. We help others to build their teams in the Philippines, and they use our facilities to build their teams within WorkPod's facilities. So instead of having staff all over the Philippines where you can't create your own culture, you can't sort of like have everyone collaborating, we have private rooms and offices that our clients build their teams within our facilities. And so we've helped everyone from Angus runs like a marketing company for dentists, for dental practices. Colin Fragar here runs a great company called Council Approval, which is the largest council approval company in Australia. They're a company of town planners that helps people to get development applications through for their building projects. So we've hired 8 lawyers, or over 8 lawyers now, I think, for them, who help run those, create those documents to help them get development approval for their clients. Todd MacArthur runs a number of businesses. He's got a like a metal fabrication company. He has a caravan renovation company that helps people fix up their caravans, and a bunch of other trade businesses. So all different types of businesses that we work with, and we hire all different types of staff for them. Sometimes it's marketing staff. Like I said before, it's lawyers, accountants, video editors, executive assistants. We've even hired specialized roles like CAD drawers, fire safety officers, all kinds of different staff. Basically anything that can be done remotely online are the types of people that we've helped place with our clients. And as Chris said earlier, we've placed over 900 staff in the last 2 years. Last month we placed 60 staff for our clients. So it's we know a thing or two about finding great talent. So if you do need some help finding staff overseas and building out your team, you can check out workpod.com, and you'll be able to get some more information about us. I don't want to pitch too much on the call today, but if you do need some help, then check us out at workpod.com. Otherwise, I hope the presentation's been useful today, and I'm happy to take any questions for anyone that's on the call live. If you have questions about how I grew my business, or if you have specific situations that, in your business that you'd like to ask a question, I'd be more than happy to answer those. Thanks so much, Chris.
No, thank you, Kody. You gave us quite a lot of gold nuggets, and I think a lot of us are going to rewatch the video just to catch everything you said there. No, really, great session. Well done. And you shared so much. The checklist is amazing. Just like Dimitri said there, Diane, said such a generous. Andrea saying best way to set up, amazing. Stephanie saying thank you so much, Kody. 160 points on checklist to look at. Awesome. And Edward also saying this is awesome, and everyone agreeing there with Edward. So really, really a good session.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Guys, if you have any questions, we've got Kody on the line. So it'd be a good chance to put in the chat, or if you want to unmute yourself, you're more than welcome. And you can ask Kody. Looks like you were crystal clear.
I'm just going back and reading through the chat in case there was any.
Hey, Kody, it's Andrea here. Just want to ask a question, and that is, what did you find as the biggest hurdle for you going through this process, going through this whole massive shift in the way you structured your business, the way you look at your business? What was the biggest hurdle for you?
Yeah, I think I started with the mindset stuff for that exact reason, because I think that's really the thing that stops us. If we're really honest, it's actually arrogance and ego that stops us from delegating. I don't like to say that straight up in the presentation because I don't want to come across like self-righteous or something like that. But honestly, that was what it was for me. Like, like thinking that no one can do it as good as me, stuff like that. It's just ego. It's not true. So that was probably like the mindset shift that helped the most. And then probably, how do you keep going is probably the next hurdle that's like really challenging. Is just in business, the stuff that comes up that's just really hard, and it's hard to keep going sometimes. And I think what helped me with that was just focus, like there's another great book called Fix This Next by Mike Michalowicz. And it talks about the idea of just finding the one thing in your business that you got to fix right now. Because there was times in my business where it felt like everything was broken, and like I just felt like overwhelmed with all the things that I needed to fix. But Fix This Next just encourages you to focus on the next thing that you need to fix. Like a lot of the stuff I showed you today, it took 10 years for me to, I grew that web development company. Took me 9 years to grow it to a $3 million valuation, whereas, we just had an investor in WorkPod and it's valued over 8 million, and we did it in like 2 or 3 years. So once you've done it once, it's like easier, but the first time I did it, it just took like a lot of time, and you have to just be disciplined and try to stay focused and not get overwhelmed.
Thanks, Kody. That was awesome.
No worries. Thanks for the question.
Does anyone else want to drop in a question there? Dan also saying, great webinar, got to go. Well done, Kody.
No worries.
Thanks for joining us.
Katrina here from New Zealand. Just a question in regards to from the outsourcing scenario, when you end up utilizing different people offshore or wherever it may be.
Yep.
Have you got experience, or do you know how that interlinks with things like B Corp certification at all?
I'm not very familiar with B Corp certification. Is that like the B workplace where it's is that what you're talking about, where it's sort of like a accreditation you get for being a great place to work? Is that what the B Corp is, or something different?
So, sort of, but it's about how that business and social responsibility. So there's a huge amount of questions and interrogation that you go through and how you do that certification. And a big part of that is on regards to how you pay living wage and things like that. Yeah. So where do you, if you don't know, it's okay. I can look into it. But it was more about how that works from a perspective of just making sure I run a manufacturing company, and there's not many manufacturers that pay a living wage. We're really committed to that. So how does that work when you then have offshore support going? I know living wage is different in each country. Just
I think
curious,
you've got the right.
That I worry about.
Yeah, I can't tell you specifically about B Corp because I don't have any experience with that specifically. But I will say that your heart's in the right place, and it's the reason why when I started building my web development company, I went and visited a lot of what they call BPOs, or agencies in the Philippines, to try to help me. And to be honest, I wasn't very impressed with what I saw, because a lot of staff were not treated very well. They were not paid very well. And so when I built my web development company, I ended up just creating my own company over there, and I had to do everything from scratch. I had to create a company. I had to find an accountant over there, find a lawyer to help me. Then I had to rent my own building. I spent $50K fitting the building out, and then started hiring staff. And so when I started WorkPod, I just have tried to create it what I wish that I had, which is our clients are able to hire the staff directly. And so they're in control of what they're paid. So what happens is that WorkPod only charges a fee for the staff to work in our facility. So everyone knows what WorkPod earns. And then we help negotiate the salary of the staff so that our clients don't get overcharged, but also that the Filipinos earn a proper salary for the skills that they have. And so I think it's a win-win-win, because the Filipinos earn more money. The New Zealand business owner, or Australian, or wherever they are, they pay only what they should be paying, and then everything is transparent. And so I think it's very important what you said. We should be looking after every person that works in our organization, whether they live in New Zealand or anywhere else. And so it's important that they earn, a competitive salary for the skills that they have in the location that they're located. So I would imagine that that's what B Corp would be concerned with, but I'm not, very familiar with their accreditation process.
No, thank you. We're not actually accredited, but I use a lot of the criteria that they use as just a really good gauge of how we should be doing things. But we're not consumer facing, so there's no value in the accreditation to us, just the heart.
Yeah. If you if you go on our WorkPod website, one of the pages that I think is really important on our site is VA Stories page, because it's videos of the staff in the Philippines and what their perspective is on working at WorkPod. We really are an employer of choice there, because when they work for us, they get paid directly by the business owners, so they earn more money. And just the stories of how it transforms their lives is just like, every time I visit there, I end up in tears talking to people there, because of, maybe they were working night shift at a call center, going to work at midnight and coming home at 8 a.m. and they're earning, 500 Australian or 600 Australian dollars a month, never seeing their kids, just those types of stories. And then you get them a job with a New Zealand company, for example. Now they work day shift, they earn 50% more than they were earning before, and they get to pick up their kids from school. It completely changes their life.
Yeah, great. Thank you. That's really helpful. I will have a look.
No worries. Yep.
Awesome. Thank you, Katrina. So guys, with that, we're gonna have to cut the session, and I just want to thank Kody again. Thanks for being us. Thanks for sharing so much great information. I think a lot of people are really going to take quite a few gold nuggets out of that. And guys, if you missed the website link, we'll put it in the comments if you're listening offline, so you'll definitely be able to check that out. And then I just want to say thank you to all the live listeners that are here with us. Thanks for joining us. And also, of course, the offline listeners and viewers. You guys are amazing. So we'll see you again next week. Thanks, Kody. And we wish you all the best. Hopefully, we'll see you again soon.
Yeah, thanks. Bye, everyone.
Cheers, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.